Hey, listener, thanks for pressing play this week on the Jock and Nerd podcast. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 production put on hold indefinitely. What does this mean for the MCU's Phase 4? Black Panther is pushing for a Best Picture Oscar nomination. The DC Universe streaming service announces its launch date. Aquaman may have some stiff competition on opening weekend, and Alec Baldwin is in and out of the Joker movie. Plus, a recap of our time at this year's Wizard World Comic-Con in Chicago, a bunch of cool recommendations, listener mailbag, and a whole bunch more, all in this edition of the Jock and Nerd Weekly for Thursday, August 30th, 2018.
Check one. All right, this is really fans out there. Let's give it up. We're talking, we nerded. We funny, disturbing. We're talking, we nerded. We spoiler alert. Oh yeah. We're talking, we nerded. We funny, disturbing. Oh yeah. We're talking, we nerded. We spoiler alert.
Hey, listener. What's up? Thanks for joining us, and welcome to the Jock and Nerd podcast, your weekly geekly, delivering comic book and superhero TV and movie news, reviews, and whatever we choose. Jock and Nerd. My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He is the Jock.
He's the nerd.
And he over there is Rugberto Bambino, otherwise known as Rug Boy. What's up, Rugs?
What's up, dudes? How's it going?
How you doing? How's the dog days of summer treating you guys?
Dude, what's the... I don't know
Dog
about
days,
your...
isn't this over?
Isn't it
Summer's
late
over.
dog days? It's the dog...
Labor Day.
How is the weather up there by you? That's what I want to know.
So you guys are out east are experiencing the heat wave we had just a few days ago.
It's so bad. It's like... Not that it's hot. It's like that muggy...
Yeah.
Humid, just
Oh, yeah,
you
we
don't
had
want to
that.
go outside. Like, I've been wanting to just get out there,
No.
and I just can't. Like, I'm out there 5 minutes, and I'm like, no.
Your felt must be moist like 24 hours.
Yeah, it's like a sponge. It just,
I'm just
and then
way
my whole
down.
day's shot.
And
And I smell terrible, more terrible than normal.
I'm sorry.
But speaking of getting out there, Imran,
Yeah.
I saw you on TV.
What?
What?
Hold on.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I saw some YouTube video of you at
Yeah.
Wizards World, I think.
Oh, from Scott Larson,
Yep.
Oh,
who's been on the show. He asked me a couple of questions. And it was fun. He's like, I'm going to interview you. He did a bunch of videos. He had a
I got to
panel.
look at your beard for a while.
Yeah, it's distracting. Like, you can't,
weird.
no, like, if you watch a video of me talking, like, you're not hearing what I'm saying. All you are is staring at my facial
Well,
hair.
the first, maybe 15 seconds, I was like, whoa, let me get a handle on this. And
Listen.
then I was able to, just watch
I'm
and,
glad.
and enjoy it.
Because I walk by mirrors and I'm distracted. I'm like, oh my God, I forgot that was there. All right, anyways, moving on.
Well, it's different every time you look at it.
It is.
You're
It
like
changes.
Rorschach. Yeah.
And there's another white strand just grew into my black space of hair.
I wanted to correct you. Dog days are already over, man.
They are. It's
Kids are in school.
Yeah.
Right.
Labor Day is coming
Miss
up. It's
the dog
basically the
days.
end of summer.
It's the end of summer,
Dog
guys.
days
It's
is
over.
like late July, August.
I just know that it's a Florence and the Machine song that I love. And it's the dog days for geek news that lately this part
Yes,
of the summer. They
this
ain't
is
Dog
true.
days for
Shit
movies.
going on.
Yeah,
This is
nothing.
the dog days for movies.
for
sure.
movies too. If you are a new listener, make sure you visit our website, check out the show notes for this episode. You can find them at jockandnerd.com/237, and it'll have links to all the news stories we cover, anything we mention, anything we recommend, all the ways to get in touch, how to subscribe, yada, yada, yada. And with that, let's get to the dog days of the geek news this week.
The Jock and Nerd podcast.
We're going to start with the old MCU, the old Marvel Cinematic Universe. And news that really is not surprising.
We have to because we spent the entire last show
We
talking
did.
about DC.
We
or most of that last show.
I think we successfully said nice things about the DC universe without being fake about it.
Yeah, I was gonna say without going against the integrity that we have.
And that is not easy to do, listener. Let me
Although,
tell
Imran,
you.
you have absolutely no integrity. Imran.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, somebody has to pay the bills by sucking everybody's dick, all right? Otherwise, how are we going to get the no sponsors that we don't have?
We had
We had one.
Spotify.
Well, no, Stitcher. See,
Whatever.
you don't even remember
Yeah,
who the
fuck them both.
fucking sponsor was.
I said Stitcher.
You can find the show on Stitcher and
Just
Spotify.
rewind it. I said Stitcher.
Okay, I'll cut that out. I'll switch that in post. I won't. Anyways, look, we a fanboy's guide to the DCEU. We had some good responses. I'll share them in our mailbag at the end of the show. But let's talk about Marvel. In news that's not surprising, but we knew it was coming, but it's kind of been confirmed. After firing James Gunn, Disney has decided to put production on Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 on hold indefinitely.
Oh, shit.
People, in fact, imagine you worked on this movie. They were ramping up pre-production to start shooting in the winter. You show up to work, and your boss is like, hey, yeah, we're not going to need you. You're dismissed. Oh, and also, you may want to look for other work. Just a friendly tip. That is a shitty day at work, people. I don't know how much worse they could get. So they've broken it down. Taika Waititi met with Marvel for an unknown movie. We don't know what they discussed. Is it for this? Apparently, they're still going to use the script. And the craziest thing is Dave Bautista still remains very vocal and just outwardly bashing Disney on social media.
You don't give a fuck.
He don't give a fuck. He pulled up another Cernovich tweet and sent it to Disney, and they're like, here's your guy, the shining champion. I was like, holy shit. Now, contractually, they got to use him for the third movie. But I think Drax is done if they ever make this third movie.
Oh, yeah, he's catching a beating from somebody.
That character is going to be killed.
They're going to make him have, like, the shittiest scenes. Like, they're all going to be in, like, sub-zero weather.
Drax is on the toilet the whole movie because he has space constipation.
Oh,
He's
shit.
constantly eating, like, things that are going to make him shit.
So look, this is they're gonna give him, they're gonna write him the shittiest role, and that's a lot of my questions for you guys about this is, first of all, how awkward is the PR for Avengers 4 gonna be when they all have to like come out and talk about this movie knowing what happened? How awkward is the set of this movie gonna be once it gets shooting? And is this the first big fuck up?
That's a big fuck up right there.
For the MCU, they were planning a lot of things. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 was supposed to launch like this whole cosmic part of Phase 4, which they haven't announced, which is kind of the only thing working for them in this whole situation.
Well, think about the shit show that they'd be having if they didn't fire Gunn. That'd be a whole other shit show.
There would.
It would be like for every shit show that you have, you have an equally positive or the opposite amount of power that is going to hit you for that other reason.
This is a no-way situation.
There is no win. You just have to kind of do the right thing, kind of.
Think about it. People
the
boycott
right thing or the rightier thing. I don't know.
Boycott the movie either way.
Yeah,
they would have boycotted either way.
I'm not going to defend Disney necessarily, but they were in a spot right there, and they had to make a call, and they had to make it quickly.
What's the bigger problem? If they spend $200 million on a movie, and then all of a sudden there's a campaign to fucking boycott the movie.
Yeah.
And then they don't make any money back.
Yep.
And they end up fucking, having a huge black mark on. It's better that it doesn't come out at all.
Yeah, I think they made, unfortunately, although I would like to see James Gunn in the role, I think PR-wise, this is the best move they could have made.
But you got to think about the future and what plans Feige may have had.
So is it the first fuck up? Yeah,
it's the first chink in the armor.
It's the first thing. Yeah, they've fucked up on movies. They've had bad movies, and they had Edgar Wright.
Yeah,
that fallout. But this is the first one where they're like taking a ton of heat. So yeah, I mean, in that sense, it is their first fuck up. I personally probably wouldn't have fired James Gunn.
Yeah.
But
then you're going to get
a tough spot.
You're going to get backlash and
you're
boycott
taking
anyways.
A chance.
Yeah. They were taking a chance. Yeah,
you're taking a chance of them biting it in the ass later.
What they've done? I mean, they've pissed off fans, but if they would have went with James Gunn, as Rugboy mentioned, they could have had a ton of backlash towards the film. By doing what they just did, really what they've done is just piss off their cast.
Yeah,
which I mean it sucks.
It's the least
worst of their concerns.
Yeah, of the two options. So that I was just going to mention, this cast has been, solidly behind Gunn. Like this is going to be awkward taking paychecks from a
Depends
company.
Who they get as their director.
Yeah, that's true. And if
they get an awesome director that is a really good people person and rallies everybody,
and they can kind of smooth things over, and they're still using his script. maybe, you know, also the fact that they haven't announced Phase 4 and then they got all these Fox properties coming in may actually help them too, because now they can restructure what they were going to do without anybody knowing, you know, and be like, this was the plan the whole time. You know, the one movie they've only removed is Inhumans. Is the one thing that they're like, no, we're not making this. Everything else that they've announced, they've made. So, man, I think Phase 4 is now. I don't know what to expect. I don't know what to expect.
Here's another way to put this in perspective. I just thought of this. You ask any Joe Blow on the street who directed Guardians of the Galaxy.
They don't know. They don't care.
They don't know. They don't care.
Yeah.
But if they would have ran with James Gunn in the third movie, they might have known who was directing that movie, and they might have known for the wrong reasons. And
they might have been angry for the wrong reasons because that's what the narrative is in the media and social media. Wow, this really is. That's a tough spot, man. This is a no-win situation. Depending on where the characters end up after Avengers 4, I think you got to let this sit. I don't know.
The best strategy for Marvel right now is to like give it a breather.
Yes.
Let time pass.
Yes.
Let people forget. There's gonna be another scandal that's gonna fucking take attention from this.
Sure.
And then you just quietly assemble the movie and get going.
Yeah.
But at the moment, you cannot make this movie, right? Like, yeah.
Oh, no, you don't have
right
a director.
now.
You don't have a director.
There's too much stuff going on. There's too many people like making it their cause and all this other stuff. There's too much polarization and amped up feelings about this. So it
needs
gotta
time.
Wait.
Yeah. So that's kind of a bummer, but we'll see what happens after Avengers 4, what kind of announcements they make, their next slate of movies. Listener, what do you think about all this? Let us know. I highly encourage you get in touch with the show, interact. There's one awesome place to do this. It's our exclusive closed Facebook group just for our listeners called Jock and Nerd Nation. And you get to hang out with us and our awesome listeners. The listeners, they're the fun people. They're the funny people in the group. And there's a lot of great conversation happening right now. But I got to welcome, we got one new group member this week. It's someone we all know and love, a new listener we picked up at G-Fest last year, an amazing artist, a really nice guy. Welcome, Lenny Romero, finally joining the Jock and Nerd Nation. Anthony, you guys have a closed group text message about Godzilla that I'm not even involved in.
No, hell no.
Lenny's
you don't want your stupid ass opinion on this.
What you know about Lensations, Imran?
Lensations. Yo, I met Uncle Lensations. I love myself some Lenny. He's just a really nice guy.
Lensations on Instagram. LENZATIONS.
Yes.
Check him out. He does a lot of shows. He's an amazing artist with the pencil. Go meet him. Go out, support him. Buy some art.
He'll give you the Lensations.
He will give you the lovely lensational look. He's lensational.
Yes.
Jock and Nerd. Lensational. Anyways, jockandnerd.com/contact.
Tingling lensation.
For links. Very
on your penis.
So, like I said, there's a great thread going on about this next bit of news that we're going to discuss right now.
So didn't we already discuss this?
No.
We did. We did.
Yeah.
No,
but the fact that Disney is on the hunt for a Best Picture Oscar for Black
let's repeat this news
Panther.
that we did already.
We didn't look. The Oscars, we did. Well, look.
The only thing that's different is that Disney's trying to push for a Best Picture.
They have never done this before. Disney has hired a veteran Oscar strategist, Cynthia Schwartz, to orchestrate a campaign with Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige backing the move. With a significant award season budget, Marvel has never done this before. Warner Brothers tried last year with Wonder Woman.
So you're not telling her. So they want Black Panther to be nominated
for Best Picture. Now, we talked about this new Best Achievement in Popular Film category that we've introduced.
It's kind of an insult.
Yes, we still don't know what the criteria is, but they don't care about that. They want to go for Best Picture Oscar. So does it deserve a Best Picture nomination? This is what I want to know. Honestly, there's a great article in the LA Times I have linked here. I'm kind of on the fence about this.
All right, Alice, here's what I'll say about Best Picture. Just that question specifically.
Yes.
In my gut, I don't think it deserves a Best Picture nomination.
Yes.
That being said, I haven't watched a Best Picture Oscar movie in a long time.
Okay, good
so I don't
point.
really know what qualifies at this point as a Best Picture.
Good.
I'm not the guy to ask.
Point.
I think that, like, if it had a solid third act where, like, there wasn't so many like weird CGI stuff, and because that dragged it down.
It did.
Because you had these like visceral fights with them, when they were fighting for the title of Black Panther,
Yep.
and they were in your face, and you felt and then the end, it was just so impersonal.
Yeah.
And it kind of blew it. Kind of like Wonder Woman's ending.
Yeah, two similar looking CGI characters.
Is it the best picture if it blows the ending? No.
Does not stick the
I don't think
land.
so. But I love that movie, and I think that Killmonger should be nominated for supporting actor. He's definitely, like, when you come out of a movie and you and you have a performance that, like, really is just riveting or really well done, that's like a best actor or a supporting actor nod, right? You gotta at least acknowledge. So I think that what he did with Killmonger, it did raise that movie to another level. Like, it really did. Like, his anger and the way he personally kind of went about it.
Yeah.
And the fact that you could tell that he was just cold as ice. Those are all things that carry through. That's a layered performance. So I would probably go for him as supporting actor, definitely.
There you go.
Well, look, I'm on the fence because
just saying something.
Yeah,
you know?
Definitely.
No, he should get that. Ruthie Carter should get a nomination for the costumes.
Absolutely,
the art direction. I think maybe cinematography. Wonder Woman tried last year, and I feel like
I think Black Panther is a better movie.
I think it's a better case for the nomination. I don't know if it necessarily should get one, but you can make a way better case for a nomination for Best Picture because it's kind of a personal movie for Coogler, who's writer-director. It's celebrating African culture. It takes place in another country. Yeah, it's a fictional African country, but it's like not.
That doesn't mean anything.
And the 3 points you just listed don't mean it should be an Oscar-worthy movie.
Well, they like to,
a personal movie that takes place in another country.
It's a personal film for him that's celebrating,
But everyone makes personal film. Like a lot of people make.
I mean, Lady Bird was a personal film.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
But the reason why it got put into the Oscars, which I didn't think it deserved to, was because it told a very real story about something that no one's told a story about before, like in that way, like with that much detail about a mother and her daughter just fighting all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why people are like, oh, they really explored the mother-daughter relationship like no other movie has. So what did Black Panther explore that no other movie has explored?
I mean, it's like the sins of the father.
It was more. It brought up what it brought up, and I'm not saying it's Oscar worthy, but what it brought up is the issues that would arise for Black people if there was a Black country, an African country that came out of nowhere that was a powerhouse. And what the role of that country would be in this world.
And if that movie was just about that, I think it would probably have a better chance of getting nominated. But you had to throw in all this other stuff.
Right. It had to be a superhero film as well.
Yes. So I think that idea, like, for example, like what got nominated, like Spotlight was about, like, exposing what happened with the Catholic priests and like exposing them for like molesting children. And it's a real story, and they had to get it completely accurate, and they had to kind of, do all this moral stuff. They concentrate on it. So I think that's why they feel like, we have an article about Ethan Hawke talking about how superhero movies aren't that good.
Yeah, we're gonna roll into that. Yeah,
yeah. So that correlates. So you can go into that.
That's why I have that because it ties it.
Let me address a couple of things from the conversation.
Yeah.
First off, like I said, I in my gut, I don't think it's an Oscar-worthy film.
Yeah,
I think it's a great film.
Yeah, I think it's a really good film, and I want to address the people in the conversation that are saying it's average. I would question why you're saying it's average because the art design is great.
Yes, it's above average.
The CGI at the end isn't great. I'll give you that. The ending at the very end, obviously.
That's the only thing that drags it down.
Yeah, but you get a very good performance out of Michael B. Jordan. You have a solid all around cast. Great art direction. Things that were brought up that you wouldn't expect to be brought up in a superhero movie, such as what I said about the role of a powerhouse African country in hiding and how that affects Black people. So to say it's just average, I think is kind of off base. And then to say that the hype of this film is purely because of its blackness is very off base, and I think actually kind of offensive because that just demeans the performances that were in this movie. If you look at any like Tyler Perry movie that has all black cast, like none of those movies get the hype because at the end of the day, there's not good movies. This was actually a really good movie that came out at a perfect time for what this country was looking for. Yeah, and it did well, and it's doing well because it's first and foremost a really good movie.
And I mean, clearly it had worldwide impact. You know, people all around the world dressing up and doing the Wakanda salute.
It was honestly, but though it wasn't as big around the world, it was big here.
I mean, I don't know. I think it was.
No, it wasn't. If you look at the worldwide box office, Avengers: Infinity War blows it out of the water.
Oh, interesting.
Black Panther though has made more money
internationally.
It had a lot of support in the U.S.
It speaks more to the situation in America, where black people have been, enslaved and demeaned and put down and never had anyone to look up to. It speaks more to an American audience for sure.
Above average movie, definitely.
Yes, so my point is it's an above average movie that is popular not because of its blackness. It's popular first and foremost because it was awesome and had a fucking great cast.
But I want to just interject here. There was a cultural thing happening. There were people like getting buses and bringing kids out of school and going there. That's like because it's so important to the culture.
Right.
So you have to acknowledge that
I'm acknowledging
as well.
it's the right movie at the right time, but I don't. If the movie sucks, if it doesn't stick the landing, as in it was just a bad movie.
Right, they're not going to stop school for Infinity War.
Right, exactly.
Right.
They're not. None of this like they might happen the first weekend, but after that, there's going to be a drop off.
Yeah.
Right. And it had legs because it was good.
Yeah. It had legs because it was good.
It's a good movie. Now,
I want to give a shout out, by the way, before you go to Ethan Hawke.
Yeah.
I just want to shout out another all-minority film.
Yes. I was going to bring this up
Crazy Rich Asians.
Yes.
Is dominating the box office. In its second week, it only had a 5.7% drop off.
Amazing.
It basically made
That's like historical.
Yes,
That's
that never happens.
That never happens.
And I think it made like 30 million opening weekend.
Yeah, it made another like 25, 30
is
million.
Crazy Rich Asians as good as Black Panther?
Well,
I haven't seen it.
Oh,
I haven't seen it because it's not my type of film.
It's a rom-com. It's getting
really good reviews.
But it does kind of relate to Black Panther. It is apples and oranges, but it's another experience that's non-white that's being shown to mainstream.
I have a friend that saw it with their parents who were all Asian, and they said by the end of it they were crying because of the impact it had.
I mean, shout out to this movie and what it's doing. I love this effect and that it's going to create more Asian-led cast, Asian-led movies. They already greenlit the sequel. They've seen how popular this is. We're going to get more now.
My whole thing is if it makes money, it's good.
Yeah.
It's good for everyone.
Yeah.
And the fact that it's making money is great.
I don't like
for comparison's sake, Black Panther, which we were talking about, had a 44% drop off. Crazy Rich Asians had a 5%.
That is unheard of. Like the word of mouth on this, and it's being celebrated similar way that Black Panther was celebrated when it was out. So I love this. This is all good stuff. Definitely shout out to my Asians. I'm Asian, technically Asian.
But the last point I want to make is, yes, like people are going to rally around these films that fit their culture. All black cast. Yeah. Obviously, it's going to appeal to a different audience. All Asian cast.
Yep.
People are going to celebrate that stuff. But at the end of the day, the people that support these movies aren't stupid.
Right.
Like the movie still has to be good.
It's got to be a good movie. Yes.
It still has to be good, or otherwise the drop off will be significant and will be severe, and people won't rally around these movies. Just like Tyler Perry movies are a fucking joke. Yeah. No one rallies around that shit because they suck.
Well, they've made like 1,000 of them, Anthony. You can't just completely discount them. They've been making them for since I was like I don't know, in my 30s. I don't know. So it's been a while.
How many Madea Halloween movies can you make, though? I mean, really?
A million, I guess.
I think he should still do the Logan movie.
How
with
many
Madea.
are there? Can we just look up?
I just looked it up. I looked up Tyler Perry, and I got 18 movie matches.
Yeah.
Jesus. Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
The guy's prolific,
it's not a one and done. It's like, it's a thing.
He knows his audience, though. So,
he found his niche.
Yeah, you find your niche, you lock in, and then
you dress up as an old lady, and everything's good.
Carry a gun in your purse as an old lady, and you make
I liked
a lot
it
of money.
when it was Big Mama's house. That was my...
That's actually not Tyler Perry.
I know. That's
I know. That's what I'm saying.
I think he did it. Lawrence...
Yeah.
What the fuck was his name?
No, I said his name, and then you said
dressing up as old ladies. That was Martin Lawrence first. Big Mama's house.
Yes, he did that. It's always never not funny though. Come on, Mrs. Doubtfire. Mrs. Doubtfire is great. Same thing.
I don't know. I don't know.
Listen,
I didn't see Mrs. Doubtfire in the theater, but I saw Big Mama's House in the theater.
It had to be
that tells you about what I like.
I'll say that both Mrs. Doubtfire and Big Mama's House, I think I like Mrs. Doubtfire more.
Yeah.
Either one of those movies comes on, I just end up watching it. I don't change the channel.
Yeah. How many Big Mama's House movies were there? Was there?
2.
There were 2.
Yeah.
Well, that's all they need.
That's all you
don't need to do like.
All I think about is the first one. The
they
second
said
one.
It all with the first one.
Yeah, you really don't need a sequel to
a
movie called Big Mama's House. So you know who's not a fan of superhero movies? Ethan Hawke. At the end of an interview with the Film Stage, this is what he says about superhero films. We'll just discuss this for a second. He says, quote, now we have the problem that they tell us Logan is a great movie. Well, it's a great superhero movie. It still involves people in tights with metal coming out of their hands.
There's no tights.
There's no tights.
He hasn't seen the movie.
Yeah, there's no tights in this movie, Ethan. He says it's not Bresson, it's not Bergman, but they talk about it like it is. I went to see Logan because everyone was like, this is a great movie. And I was like, really? No, this is a fine superhero movie. There's a difference, but big business doesn't think there's a difference. Big business wants you to think that this is a great film because they want to make money off of it, end quote. Now, he is right and wrong in this altogether at the same time.
I agree.
In this thing. What part is he right about, Anthony?
He is right. Big business does want you to think things are great because they want to make. Of course, everything is the greatest thing ever. That is the concept of business.
But the dangerous thing about that now is that big business has like kind of scared critics into also kind of saying
what's dangerous about that exactly is that big business now has their hand in the pockets of critics that are now telling you this is amazing.
Not us.
And you know what? We'll get to. In the second half of the news, there's a news story that relates to this. But
big business owns Fandango.
Big business owns
Rotten Tomatoes.
And critics are afraid of backlash from fucking people on the internet, and they're gonna fucking suck the dick or whatever.
Not only that, they're afraid of not getting that fucking first screening to their movies.
Yes, that also. Now
and that guap.
Ruggs, what part is he completely off base on in this quote?
Just because the movie's about superheroes, that it can't be like a great movie.
He's confusing like realism and fantasy genres, and of course it's not Bresson, it's not Bergman, but it's like a great Western movie. There's no fucking tights in it. I don't think he actually saw this movie.
Right.
So
I mean,
but it is
like
Ethan
Logan.
Hawke at the same
I like Logan. It's a good movie.
Yeah.
It's good. The thing that I always say is like if you could sit down somebody who doesn't like these types of movies and they sit through the whole thing and they like it, then it's like an unquestionably good movie, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know if I could do that with necessarily. I don't think I could just grab like some random broad and sit her down and go, hey, watch this. You're going to like it. And then they'll watch it. I don't know. Maybe like I think it's like maybe there's a good chance. I would say 60-40 chance that they're going to like it.
I mean, you can kind of do that with Logan. This is what you're saying.
Could you grab her broad and have her watch Bergman and like it?
I don't even know what Bergman is. He's talking about some like really highfalutin stuff.
Well, it's a little film snobby, and the New Yorker. This article is great.
Let me look up Bergman right now because I'm gonna feel like embarrassed if I know Bergman and I don't.
Ingmar Bergman. This article makes. I like this point. It makes that. You know, he's criticizing the fantasy genre and saying it's not as good as realism, and that superhero movies are a subset of cinematic fantasy. The metal hands in Logan aren't different from the costumes of the Tin Man, the Scarecrow, and the Cowardly Lion, or from the vampire Nosferatu, the monster in Frankenstein, the robot in Metropolis. And these are all classic works of cinema.
But you know what this screams to me? And I get it. It screams to me the fact that what's making money and what's dominating Hollywood is the superhero genre.
Yeah.
And, you know, a lot of these films that are made, you know, that aren't intended to be blockbuster movies are getting ignored. And the actors that are in these movies are feeling salty about it.
And this is just the trend. We are all seeing this. Independent movies are not a thing for the big studios.
But to say a superhero film can't be a great film just because it's a superhero film is
I think he's like
asinine.
I think he's thinking about it like an actor,
narrow-minded. Yeah,
and he's thinking about like how hard it is to act and be a superhero, and it's not that hard.
Right?
Because really, I mean, you maybe have one emotional or two emotional scenes in a movie. You don't have to do like these like long, like, imagine like Pacino in like Glenn Ross, like
long monologues.
These monologues that like require like so many emotions to happen in like one shot. He's going from being like pissed off to being like convincing himself of something, and then to breaking down.
Yeah,
like, all of these different things are occurring. So, he's got a point.
Yeah, that's the thing. He's right and wrong about
like
this
all
stuff.
of these things in these movies are very compartmentalized.
Yeah.
So you have the like I'm gonna cry scene or that I'm upset scene, and then that's it, and then you move on to the next scene. It's not like these things that transition into one another, and so he has a point as from an acting standpoint.
And Logan is it's unique in that, there is great performances in Logan. There is all that emotion, but it's also Hugh Jackman just being Wolverine, and
he's done it 1,000
and he's done it 9 times before. Moving on, another great article from Variety about title How Hollywood is Racing to Catch Up with Netflix. I'll put this in the show notes. Just a great article. The irony that Netflix started trying to compete with like Blockbuster and then compete with HBO, and everyone counted them out, and they've become this power horse and flipped the script to where
Netflix was originally where you rented DVDs.
But the guy who came up with Netflix, he always had this idea in his pocket for the long play, and as they gathered data that no other company had, it set them farther and farther ahead in this market. And now, like Disney, this article features Bob Iger talking about the Disney streaming service. So the Disney is trying to figure out how to catch up to Netflix, which I think is crazy. So the few tidbits that are interesting here, he said that this streaming service is the company's top priority for 2019. Disney's top priority. There's an article saying that it's officially named Disney Play. I don't think that's the name, because if you actually read the article, he just said Iger has referred to this streaming service as a Disney Play. You know what I'm saying? It's a Disney move. It's a Disney Play. But he also reveals that it's going to be less than Netflix, and that's because it's going to have less content initially as they build up their library. Still, a year away now, if you've done the trends between DC and Marvel, you will notice some things. Like DC does things first. Marvel tends to do things better.
That's right.
And this is the exact case we are in with DC's streaming service. They had a huge launch this week. They've announced when it's coming out. Kevin Smith hosted like a 90-minute, it was like a 2-hour live show on YouTube yesterday. I was watching it at work. The DC Universe streaming service will launch on Batman Day this year,
Geek Boner,
which is September 15th. All right. Teen Titans will premiere October 3rd at New York Comic Con to kick off New York Comic Con, then premieres on the service October 12th. And they'll have new episodes every
Teen
Friday.
Titans is going to be awful.
Titans, really? You think so? Yeah. I don't know. I kind of want to check it out. 12 episodes, new episodes every Friday. Have you seen these new character banners they put up?
It's
you mean bad. Fuck Batman or Teen Titans regular cartoon?
No, Titans. Sorry, the show Titans.
Fuck Batman.
The Fuck Batman. Yes.
Okay.
They put out some character banners of Beast Boy, Raven, Starfire, and Robin.
They've already gotten the characters wrong.
Which ones have they gotten wrong? All of them? I mean, we haven't seen anything.
Robin stepping on a man's neck.
It's like fuck
Hawke
Batman.
and Dove cutting people up. Starfire looking like she's a fucking prostitute. What are we doing here?
Raven looks kind of cool. She looks like Raven.
God, Raven, right?
Raven.
Thank God.
They got Brendan Fraser for Doom
I'm gonna
Patrol.
tune in for Raven.
Yeah, wait to see Raven. So, but when it does launch, it will have like all the Super Friends episodes on there. It will have
the old ones. Those are old school.
The old. Here's what the cool new stuff they're bringing. All of Batman the Animated Series has been remastered in HD.
Geek Boner
will be available to watch. That's kind of cool. And Linda Carter's Wonder Woman also remastered in HD. There'll be a DC Daily News show. So you can watch on 2 devices at once, they said. And in the video, they were going through what the app looked like on TVs. I guess it's going to be like on game consoles and the Roku box and Apple TV and shit, right? So they're going through the screens on TV. It's nicely laid out. It's clean. What I really liked was you can read tons of comic books. They have all these comics you could just pull up and read, and you could do side-by-side comparisons of like...
On your TV?
On the TV, yes.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah. You could zoom in and zoom out, and You read, and they're all available. Read comic books on your TV. That's fucking cool.
Here's what I'll say about that.
Yeah.
Comic books are dying. So
Yes.
I don't know if that's necessarily a draw for people.
Yeah.
But it's a
Doesn't
nice
hurt.
it's a nice differentiator from the other services.
Right. What other streaming service has like crystal clear
comic books?
Yeah.
Where you can stream them.
There's a community aspect to it. You know, you can interact with other listeners. You guys, I think we're gonna have to get an account for the show. Like watching Kevin Smith get excited, I was like,
Geek boner.
oh, I think we're gonna have to sign up for
Oh,
this
everyone's
show.
excited about something?
I'm excited. Yeah, surprise.
Oh.
Have you met me?
I'm pumped.
Yeah, me too.
Surprise,
But listen, for the show, I feel like we should review some of this new content. I'm kind of interested in the Swamp Thing show. I want to see the Young Justice show. They got me excited.
I'm not getting it, but I'll find it.
Maybe we can get one account and share it for the show.
It's only can see it on 2 TVs.
So yeah, so 2 of us at a time can watch stuff, and then when
We all
the
know
person's
Anthony
done,
won't watch it anyway.
yeah. So we just that's all we need. But I got kind of geeked for this, and now, like we said, will Marvel see what they're doing? Will they do it better when they lost their streaming service
Oh, they're definitely going
They're
to.
definitely watching.
last year? Yeah, they're watching.
They're gonna be watching and doing their thing, playing chess with DC.
It always seems like DC is playing checkers while Marvel's playing chess.
Yeah,
That's
it's like
right.
similar, but not the same game.
Yeah,
But they're getting,
while
they're getting there first.
DC's gearing up and like, man, we're killing it. We got the Nolan stuff out. Marvel's like, you know what? We're just gonna make our little shared universe over here.
We're just gonna make a
Release
couple
it at the
$1 billion
same
this year.
time. And yeah,
we got one popular character. We're gonna fucking quadruple that easily.
you're driving Batman into the ground while we're just acquiring all our B characters and gonna make this way better.
Remember
We're
when
gonna slowly buy every studio.
Yeah, we'll just suck of it. Remember when Batman vs Superman was coming out on the same date as Civil War at one point? Remember that?
And then they moved.
We're like, Marvel's like, you're making a movie about your heroes fighting? That's funny. We're making a movie about our heroes fighting too. Same day. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
Who blinks first?
I don't
know. I mean, I didn't watch this special. I mean, I'm a little. I'm just more. It's not that DC.
Yeah.
Per se, it's more the fact that all these fucking streaming services are coming out.
Yes.
And now it's getting a little
It itches
annoying.
your balls.
Yes.
Yeah.
However, this pre-order, if you pay pre-order for a year, $75, you get 3 months free. So that's 15 months for $75. That's not bad.
You are such a shill.
I suddenly am. I'm like,
How many people do I gotta give my money to him?
I know, but it looked cool, and I like Greg Capullo is sitting there in the video, like reading Batman comic books, and I was like, that actually looks really fun. Like that looks cool. I want to read comic books on my fucking television. So yeah, unique thing. I think it's gonna be a good launch for them, coming out September 15th. And with that, let's take a quick break right here. Play some promos. We'll be back with some more news. We're going to recap our time at Wizard World and give you some recommendations right after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Hey, listener, Dutch here from Voice from the Underground, the podcast. My co-host and I want to invite you to check out our little corner of the podcast verse. At Voice from the Underground, we talk about all the crazy happening around us and try to make a little bit of sense out of the nonsense with little to no results. If the idea of hearing 3 semi-intelligent, outspoken nerds talk about politics, social issues, current events, sports, movies, pretty much anything that we decide to talk about because, well, it's our show, appeals to you, grab your shovel and come on down to the underground, and then consult a qualified psychotherapist. Find us wherever you get your podcasts, just not where you buy your weed.
Voice from the Underground.
Called The Working Man's Nerdist, Tales from the Fandom is a weekly podcast where David talks with a guest about the fandoms that they love. Whether it's classics like Star Trek, Star Wars and Tolkien, or new ones like Game of Thrones or Harry Potter. Anime, books, TV shows, movies, role-playing, video games, cosplay and more are discussed. Each episode is different based on the guest. No fandom is too big or too small. Subscribe to Tales from the Fandom and join in on the fun.
Hey, listener, check out our fun fan club. Join our membership site over at Patreon, jockandnerd.com/Patreon. And for a monthly donation, you will help support the show and you will get bonus content in the form of an exclusive RSS feed that has tons of post-show audio, whole episodes For example, there is a new Jock Talk out with Chaz.
Hey, shut the fuck up. I'm doing something.
And Anthony. Anthony, what are you guys talking about in this latest episode?
Shit, I don't even remember.
I don't remember either. It was about baseball.
It was a variety of. It was a variety of topics that Chaz came up with: baseball, boxing.
Oh, you guys were doing kind of like he was bringing up a buy-sell thing. Like
he was bringing up a topic, and I
like it.
Agree or disagree, buy, sell, pass or hold, whatever the fuck you want to call it.
New format for Jock Talk, everybody.
Yeah.
Very exciting.
Wowie zowie.
And also, we have a really good audio essay. There's a new Rug Down. It's a 20-minute audio essay from Rug Boy on #ComicsGate.
Oh, shit.
Something that's been in Twitter, in the media, in the geek sphere. I'm sure you have heard of it. Rugs, you did a really good job. And
it was hard.
It was hard, and I appreciate you putting in the effort for this content.
Because it's not easy to, like, talk for, like, 20 minutes.
Right?
And without someone to bounce something off of. So I don't know how it came out. Tell me if it was good.
I thought it was very good. You make a lot of good points, and I think in a future show we will break this down for the listener on the main show. It's a very interesting topic with a lot of nuanced parts, and it's kind of confusing to me. So for my own,
it'll confuse you if you listen to this. It's
fucking confusing. But check it out. You get all that, and there's other perks like stickers and T-shirts. And I just gotta say thank you to each and every one of our patrons for your continued support. You guys are awesome. Help us get to do cool stuff. And
I hope you guys enjoy the content.
Yeah.
And if you guys want more stuff on Patreon, just let us know, and we'll see what we can do.
I'll try and do a little bit more.
Yeah. We got movie orders we got to fill. We'll be getting to those.
Don't worry, Patreon. Eventually, we will get to those movies.
Yeah.
And if you're getting impatient, just message us, and it'll
just know
kick us
that
in the
I've
butt.
seen a lot of the movies because I was proactive, and the other people haven't. So
there you go.
Fuck them.
Yep.
It's mostly Anthony that hasn't watched shit. So.
I haven't watched the movies, but Imran hasn't. Here, I'll blame it on you.
Yeah.
You haven't scheduled anything, so I have no incentive to watch these movies.
You motherfuckers. All right. I will schedule it and force.
And we will alternate between Patreon and main show.
Yeah.
It helps me make up my mind on what I have to watch. I'm like, what am I watching today? Like,
I
have to watch this anyway.
your fucking lives. You're an adult felty. God damn it. Make a decision. Anyways.
I did.
He did it. You're blaming the wrong person.
Why are you blaming me? I watched the movies. You didn't even do it.
You millennial jock. Watch the movie.
Yeah, fuck Anthony.
That's right.
Who's the one that's never on a What the Fuck Happened episode because he doesn't want to watch Howard the Duck? Come on. Take one for the team.
You always have like a million guests, and I'm just going to sit there.
You get one of these. Back to the news.
Didn't see the movie. Don't care.
Didn't see that one either. Back to the news. We're going to stick with more DC news. Apparently, Aquaman, James Wan's Aquaman that's coming out December 21st, has screened. Early screening. This is a very early screening, so they're probably going to go back and tweak stuff. And initial reactions are like, it's good. Not great. It's good. People saying it reminds them of a Phase 1 MCU movie, which, honestly, that's an improvement. I think if that's what they're like, it reminds you of like Iron Man and the first Thor and Captain America. Like, that's great. That's kind of where they should have started this whole time. I don't know. What is this? What do you guys think? It's hopeful. It's at least it's not a complete like dumpster fire from these early screenings, like it's been in the past.
If it's a good movie, it's a good movie. I mean, it's good in what context? That's the thing. Is it good compared to a Marvel movie, or is it good compared to a DC movie, which doesn't mean anything?
I will say it does look like Momoa is having a really good time in the trailer. So I hope that comes across like the whole movie. Like, I'm going to have fun because he's having fun playing this fucking character.
I'd rather they say this than it's a complete trash.
Right? Exactly.
Fire.
So here's where we'll run into a little bit of problem when it comes out December 21st. So they have just moved up the release date for UK and Australia. US dates for now, December 21st. It's coming out December 13th, earlier in the UK and Australia. I think they may change the US date. Why? Here are some of the other movies that are coming out on exactly the same fucking day, December 21st, all right? This is its competition. Alita Battle Angel.
No one's seeing that.
Bumblebee.
No one's seeing that.
Mary Poppins Returns.
That's going to be a problem.
And then Holmes and Watson. Have you seen the trailer for this where it's Chris Farrell and John C. Reilly playing fucking Sherlock Holmes and Watson?
That might be a draw.
Bumblebee might.
You don't think Bumblebee's going to pull Transformers
Bumblebee
people?
might do some stuff. It's got Haley Steinfeld.
It's going to be third place.
I don't understand why they're releasing all these movies on the same day.
On the same day. And if I was Warner Brothers,
this is like dick measuring right now.
It really is. This is it's going to be a tough end of the year for these movies.
I mean, it is a good, here, I'll say it's a good weekend because Christmas is right there. So you get that longer,
the big weekend.
You get that longer hype or the longer amount of time where people can be in the movie theater because you might have to assume most people have off the 24th as well.
So
Christmas Eve and 25th. So you get your 5 days right there.
But the all-important opening weekend.
5 movies?
Who's going to win this opening weekend? I don't even know if Aquaman can win the opening weekend with this lineup.
No, it will.
You think so? Barely?
It's going to be Aquaman, Mary Poppins, and Bumblebee.
There you go.
I mean, that's a big Disney movie.
And then maybe Holmes and Watson comes in.
I would agree with Ruggs.
You don't think anybody's going to see Alita Battle Angel, James Cameron, Robert Rodriguez?
Oh, what is that?
Yeah, we watched the trailer.
No, it's awesome.
It's that one
awesome.
with the
big eyes.
Yeah, it looks awesome,
looks
but against
sick.
Aquaman, it's not going to do it. It has to have his... I don't even think Alita Battle Angel could come out on top of Bumblebee.
Wow.
I would agree with that.
I mean, so family-wise, if you think of families and kids going to the theater, I think this is going to be a hard choice between the Mary Poppins and the Bumblebee and the Aquaman.
Do the kids know what Mary Poppins is?
Well, Disney's going to make sure.
Parents are going to take their kids.
Okay. Yeah.
Parents are going to take their kids. Any chick that's over 30 is going to be in the theater.
Dude, this is Disney's plan
That's
from
their
the get-go. This is their strategy. They get the parents who grew up with these movies. Let's remake the movie so that they bring their kids because they remembered how much they love this movie. It's fucking genius.
Yeah.
For me, Mary Poppins doesn't resonate with me at all.
I fucking love Mary Poppins so much. It's one of my favorite movies.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I've seen it a million times. I can do every fucking song from it.
It's your generation. You're too young to. You weren't there when it was out when you were a kid.
I'm kind of offended that there
it was a huge thing.
This isn't a reboot. It's like a sequel.
It's a sequel.
Yeah, where she comes back. That's fine because there were. I even read some of the Mary Poppins books, and so like she comes back. She has adventures.
What is she?
She's a nanny with magical powers. She's the best, sweetest nanny, and she can.
It's like Harry Potter meets like Mrs. Doubtfire.
Things come alive. She does magic tricks. She pops into chalk drawings. They go on a carrot. It's fucking great. There's animation and live action and amazing performance by Dick Van Dyke as Bert. Oh, it's fun. Lin-Manuel Miranda, I guess, is playing that part. Dude, Mary Poppins is, I think everyone is screaming at the phone going, fucking Mary Poppins is the best.
I'm Mary Poppins.
I'm Mary Poppins, y'all. We know Yondu likes it. So we'll see what happens. I mean, I'll be there for Aquaman on the 21st for the show, of course. But it'll be interesting to see where the box office numbers fall out. Moving on, more DC news. The Joker movie that already has Joaquin Phoenix as Joker, Robert De Niro, Mark Maron, Brian Callen, Zazie Beetz. News came out one day that Alec Baldwin joins the cast to play Thomas Wayne. Hollywood Reporter reporting Bruce Wayne's father, and also saying that this Thomas Wayne is a cheesy tanned businessman who is more in the mold of a 1980s Donald Trump.
Oh, shit.
Bullshit.
So ironically, Baldwin does a great Donald Trump on SNL.
Bullshit.
And then immediately the next day, Alec Baldwin's like, no, I'm not, I'm out. I quit. I'm not doing this movie.
Good for him.
And, okay, wait.
If they were smart, they would just get Christopher Walken.
Oh, to play Thomas Wayne?
Yeah.
Play that cheesy Thomas Wayne. Well, I remember Christopher Walken from the third Batman. Was that the second?
Batman.
The second Batman movie. Yeah, he was great as a bad guy in that one.
Why would Thomas Wayne be like Donald Trump?
And why is Thomas Wayne in the Joker movie? It's a Joker origin movie. I don't know. It's all confused.
Thomas Wayne would be more like Elon Musk or something.
Yes. Well,
Be
no,
more musky.
he's a philanthropist, businessman.
Musky.
And musky. He's very musky. So you didn't think Alec? Was
He
this
feels
real?
philanthropist.
Do you think he feels a lot of things? Phil, my name's Phil. I'm a philanthropist. Do you think all this was bullshit? Like, I just thought it was weird that they announced that he was in the movie, and then he has he's like, no, I'm not doing this. The next day, what the fuck is going on here? Does he not want to be a Trump type in earnest because he's doing a parody and he hates fucking Donald Trump?
I don't know.
They might have jumped the gun.
Yeah.
They might have just jumped, they might have thought they had it, and they went out with it, and he was just like, what the fuck?
I never said I was going to do this. Fuck you guys. I'm super excited for this movie, though. I think this movie is going to be really interesting. Low budget, gritty, taxi driver meets fucking some other movie in the middle.
Is Batman in this?
I don't know. I don't know how you do an origin movie without the Batman because traditionally he's tied to Joker's origin.
I got something completely random.
Okay, what's that?
Do you all know that Winnie the Pooh movie came out?
Yeah, with people were like tearing up over the nostalgia, the feels they were getting with this movie.
What was it called?
Christopher Robin.
Christopher Robin, yeah.
Yeah, about the guy who created Winnie the Pooh.
Didn't make that much money.
This is Disney, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just
Winnie the
randomly
Pooh
thought because I was looking up all the Disney remakes.
Yeah.
Because I think that you didn't see any marketing for it.
No.
Do you remember seeing a commercial for it?
Not really.
Maybe they buried it.
But I've already seen a ton of marketing for Dumbo.
Oh, I haven't seen that much for Dumbo. Man, they're just fucking gonna remake everything, aren't they?
Look, I don't even remember seeing one commercial for Christopher Robin. Not one.
Why did they call it Christopher Robin and not Winnie the Pooh?
I think
that's a mistake.
Yeah,
that's a big fuck up.
That's a big fuck up right there.
Also, I think it was about the guy who created Winnie the Pooh, and it's like
what it was
maybe
about?
like a kind of like a biopic, but then they come to life. I don't know. I didn't fucking see the movie.
Yeah, it's not a true Winnie the Pooh movie. It's kind of like a sideways into Winnie.
I suppose.
All I know is they're about to make a shit ton of money because Dumbo is coming out.
Yeah.
And Mulan movie's coming out. Aladdin's coming out.
Mary
Lion King's
Poppins.
coming out.
They're gonna do Little Mermaid. They're just gonna remake everything.
That's all. 101 Dalmatians
and rule the world. They'll be running everything. Going back to Batman.
Sorry.
Here's another crazy rumor. Geeks Worldwide, this site, it was reporting that Oscar Isaac has met with Warner Brothers about appearing in Matt Reeves' Batman solo movie. They don't know which character he might be in line to play, but then people were like, "Is he up for Batman?" Or a bad guy, but then I was like, Oscar Isaac as Batman? That as a young Batman, that may work. What do you guys think? Would you buy him as a Bruce Wayne Batman?
Oscar Isaac?
Yeah.
He's not that big.
No.
Yeah, it's like anything could happen, but
he can.
I guess Keaton wasn't a very tall guy
Keaton's
either.
tiny. Yeah,
but that was back in the day where they made shit weird.
Yeah, they didn't have to fit.
Like now they try at least to somewhat make the guys look cool. Like
so Oscar Isaac is 5'9". I've always imagined Batman to be like
at least
over 6 foot.
At least 6 feet, broad shoulders.
It's like Imran's height.
That's
Imran is like at least 5'3".
Nailed it. 5'3" and a half.
How tall are you actually?
I'm probably like 5'8" or 5'9". I'm probably.
Get the fuck out of here.
No,
I stand next to you and you look so small.
How tall are you?
6 foot.
Yeah, well, of course.
That's still 4 inches less.
Right,
it's 5'8".
4 inches is a lot.
That's a lot of that's a lot of fucking jump room there.
It's a lot downstairs too.
That's why I'm better at wall balls and squats than you. I got less.
I hear you.
Less way to go.
I hear you.
Back when I did the CrossFit.
You squat real well.
Yeah, man, I could do a snatch. People are impressed by my snatch. They were like,
I'm being
look at that
truthful
guy
when I
do
say
the
this.
snatch. I'm serious. People saw my snatch and they were impressed.
Oh, shit.
And it's not code word for anything. Put your tweets away. It's an Olympic lift, motherfuckers.
I guess Oscar Isaac could be Batman.
Or maybe a bad guy. He said he's very interested in being a part of this movie. I think make him a bad guy would also be great. We don't know anything about fucking this movie, so. Anyways, light rumor.
A little more physical. Did you see that fucking? Speaking of Batman, did you see that Ben Affleck's in rehab?
Yes. It said Jennifer Garner checked him in.
Yeah.
So he's not playing Batman then?
I don't think he's playing Batman. He says,
Jesus, sorry. Hey Ben, I hope you feel better. I hope he's listening to this in rehab and we
he's
make
in
him
rehab
laugh.
for after being pictured purchasing multiple bottles of alcohol.
And he's been in and out of rehab a couple of times.
Yeah, he likes his
the drink.
booze.
Mel B also checked into rehab. America's Got Talent judge. Totally random.
Mel B. Who's Mel B?
Mel
Is
B.
she the Spice Girls? Yeah.
Can I just say one thing about Mel B? Is she looks so good now. Like, I think she looks better than she did when she was in the Spice Girls like 25 years ago. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know how that's possible. But I was like, damn, Mel B's looking good. And she looks better.
Don't crack.
Man, she looks amazing. I love the Mel B. Anyways, moving on. Todd McFarlane had a big announcement about his Spawn movie on the social medias, and it's that the Walking Dead special effects specialist and director Greg Nicotero is joining the movie. You know, despite the fact that he's making this for a low budget and that this is his directorial debut, he has made some smart choices so far.
That's not a bad idea.
In my opinion, Jamie Foxx, Jeremy Renner as Twitch, Of course. And Greg, did you know Greg Nicotero worked on the first Spawn movie fucking 20 years ago also?
No, did not know that.
So I think that I love this move because he wants to use practical effects because of the budget. And Nicotero is one of the best.
He's experienced in working with TV.
Yeah.
TV money.
TV
and
money.
zombie faces.
And melty, burny faces. And like the makeup on The Walking Dead is good. It's the rest of the fucking decompressed shitty writing that ruins the show now. But it's not the not the makeup's fault. What do you think about this, Rox? Do you think he's making some smart moves here?
I mean, I don't think he's an idiot. I mean, he's Todd McFarlane. He fucking did shit that no one else did.
He did build an empire off of his name,
and then he wasted it buying baseballs. But
is that what happened?
So like,
he has to make more toys to pay for his baseballs.
Yeah, he bought completely.
He's a huge baseball fan. I know, like signed baseballs and shit.
He bought like the guys who were the home run. Guys, but they're all on steroids, so it doesn't count.
No, all the asterisk balls? He bought all the asterisk balls?
With a Mark McGuire.
Yeah. Somebody's got to buy those.
He bought his balls.
Are those balls worth more or less than the non-asterisk home run balls in the current market? Does anybody know?
Not right now,
but
not
worth anything because they're like asterisk balls.
But he paid a lot for them, and then they lost value.
He bought all the game balls. Spent like millions of dollars on it.
Someone needs to get those balls.
Somebody's got to buy those balls.
Getting like the most home run ball.
Yeah.
Damn.
All right. Well, Todd, hopefully
read about Todd McFarlane's balls on the internet.
Todd McFarlane, I hope this movie makes you money for your balls. Get the balls.
He can finally recoup his ball money.
Recoup his ball money. I have a ball budget, and it's very low right now.
Yeah, he blew his ball budget.
Last bit of story for the news. This is kind of exciting for us as a podcast. Rotten Tomatoes has announced some big changes in an effort to boost critic diversity. You know, they've come under fire from fans, critics, and filmmakers who think this grading system is a little simplistic. Here's what their critics relation manager, Jenny Jedney, had to say about these new guidelines. Over the past few years, our team has added hundreds of new voices to the tomato meter on top of the thousands we currently have, with the goal of creating a critics pool that closely reflects the global entertainment audience. We took another key step today by revamping our critics criteria that both shifts our focus to approving critics individually rather than through publications, and introduces updated guidelines for newer media platforms to be a part of the tomato meter. What this means is that they're relaxing the certification process. They are going to allow certain things like podcasts and video reviews.
Oh shit.
From people like us, individuals who like to review things, and it's going to factor into the score. I'll tell you what, I'm going to sign up for this fucking thing the minute they launch it.
How do you feel about that they're letting complete shitheads review the movies?
Now, this is interesting, yes, because, you know, there are times when the critic score doesn't reflect the audience score and flip vice versa. You notice this kind of discrepancy when you scroll certain movies. Was that a problem? Are they just dumbing it down? But on the other hand, I also think our views.
I think if they're responsible with who they pick, it's okay.
It really comes down to the process of who they're letting.
Yeah, they can't pick us because we're not reliable.
But look, here's the thing. I think they can, and this goes back to Ethan Hawke's statement. They need to get some of these critics that aren't afraid of actually critically reviewing the movie, despite what the studio is, what kind of access they're giving them, what they expect from them. And just take the risk. And I think
they shouldn't pick me.
I think they should pick us.
I think we would too. I don't watch enough.
I want to
see
how fast I get called a Nazi. I think the
podcast as an entity should
review a movie and people don't like my reviews.
Should be put in there. I don't know. It could also lead to a lot of fucking.
It's not necessarily a bad thing if they handle it correctly and get people in there that watch a lot of movies and can form a sentence.
Well, look, like, for example,
that me out.
No, look, if we applied and they went and we're like, send us some of your reviews, and we send them our reviews.
Okay, if we apply and they want us to do it, yes, I'll do it. I'm just saying that.
I don't know.
They shouldn't. Not everyone on the fucking internet deserves a voice.
I feel like if I do that, I'm drawing a huge target on my balls.
But how's your ball budget? Do you have enough money for the balls?
No.
Yeah, that's also a problem.
I need about look, if I was gonna do this and commit reviewer suicide and by putting my shit on Rotten Tomatoes, Like, I would need about $250,000 to do that.
What, to get
Like,
the balls?
No, like
to-
that would be that would be like what it would be worth to me.
Lay it on the line.
Yeah, to lay like everything, like people coming after me on fucking Twitter.
Yeah.
If I don't like a movie and
That's
make my
what these
life
critics.
miserable.
So that's what these critics go through. From their
Like, right
point
now,
of view.
nobody listens to this. So it doesn't
Somebody
matter.
listens.
Well, like, yeah,
there's-
not that
I
many
see
people. They're not
download
that
numbers.
active. They're not like, people listen to it, of course, but like, they're not like. It's people only who are fans listen to this, not people who hate listen to this. There's not people like looking to fucking like. We're not making a dent in like the general public, so like no one's coming for us because no one knows that we have opinions.
Gotten 2 death threats on YouTube. So
Oh, shit.
That's a thing.
Yeah, okay.
Look,
2?
Yeah, just
in 3 years.
Just 2 in 3 years is not bad. I'm excited. We'll do it. I'll do it. We'll do it. Put us in there. Let's see what happens. I don't know.
Let's get $1 million, split it 3 ways, and then we'll do it.
There you go.
Deal. Done. All right. Let's move on. Next segment. We went to Wizard World this past weekend, and we had press credentials.
What does that mean exactly?
What, the press credentials?
Do you get in for free?
We did get in for free. I gotta say thanks
Whoa.
to Wizard World PR Jerry Milani for credentialing us, and it was a little white bracelet that said Wizard
Said
World
press.
and press on it. So it wasn't a lanyard, but it was a bracelet. It was still pretty cool. So yeah, you get to walk and go to all the panels and anything that had an extra ticket. Like,
So you don't have to wait online. You just went in.
Yeah, there wasn't really much lines.
There wasn't really lines.
Yeah.
I mean, really what it is, again, thanks, Jerry Milani, but it's just a free ticket.
Yeah, in an effort of, we check out the show, have some fun, review the show. I didn't get to talk to anybody, but we did see people from afar because people waiting in line and pay $40 to get a picture and an autograph, which I'm not much of a guy to do that.
Me neither. We saw Palm Clementif.
We saw Michael Rooker, Ernie Hudson was there. Anthony, you thought there was more cosplay than you expected.
Okay, so I haven't been to a Comic-Con since 2011, San Diego.
Yeah.
So it's been a long time.
Yeah.
And every time I talk, we were on this show, Rug Boy talks about cosplay.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's not that bad. I got over there.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying it was bad. I was just like, holy fuck, there's a shit ton of cosplay at this thing.
Oh, yeah. There was
no one's there to buy comics. I tell you this.
They're really not.
There was like a whole bunch of people just standing outside the entrance, just in cosplay, taking pictures.
And that was the part of the convention that you didn't need to buy a ticket to go in. So you could have just showed up in your costume and stood out there and get pictures taken of you all day and never went inside. Now, they had a whole cosplay corner. They had some cosplay people. They had the one kind of cool thing was they had like prop makers. Like you could buy the replica guns and crazy swords. Like that was kind of neat. But yeah, there was a focus on cosplay. There was a focus on esports and video games. And
there's esports
in one section.
There's a little everything.
They did a whole Ghostbusters thing, Windy City Ghostbusters Coalition. These guys walk around with like movie accurate proton packs and do charitable stuff, I guess. I'm not sure.
I got some questions.
Okay,
All
go.
right. That's better than Imran talking about what was there going on
It
there.
was fun, though. It was a fun
So let's
show.
just, I like to get like a litmus test of like what was going on.
Yeah.
So did you go both days?
I went Friday and
It's 4
Sunday.
days, right?
It's 4 days. Yeah. Thursday, Friday,
You went
Saturday,
like
Sunday.
prime days, like Saturday and
I didn't
Friday?
go Saturday. I went Friday and Sunday.
I only
Okay.
went Sunday.
Okay. Artist Alley.
Yes.
Was there a lot of people in Artist Alley? Like a great amount?
Not a great amount. It was, a lot of people walking through there. Yes.
Okay, but people like buying art and like sitting there waiting for their art to be drawn.
I did
and
see
this and
some of that.
So we talked to one of the guys.
Yes.
Here, this answers this question. There was people walking around Artist Alley. It wasn't empty. We talked to one of the guys, and he said for this particular con, there wasn't a ton of activity on Thursday or Friday, right?
Yeah.
But he said Saturday and Sunday was a lot better.
Yeah.
He said for this particular con, Wizard World Chicago Con, it really depends on what celebrities they get. And in his opinion, the celebrities this year weren't the best, so it wasn't as busy.
I mean, he didn't know who Boy Meets World people were.
The headliners were the Boy Meets World
cast reuniting for the first time in 20 years. Ernie Hudson, Matt Ryan, but you had Palm Clementif and Michael Rooker also.
Okay, well, that is...
It does make a huge difference.
Let him say what he's saying.
Yeah.
I think that I've been to conventions where there's been no celebrities about 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Artist Alley was booming. Because they were the celebrities.
Right.
Get it?
Yep. So
Okay.
I will say
That's the difference, people.
On Sunday, there was a bunch of people walking around talking to artists, and I want to shout out a couple of these guys. Juan from Gomez Studios, and I was attracted to his booth right away.
Well, his name's Juan Gomez.
Juan Gomez, obviously. Gomez Studios. Check him out on Facebook.com/GomezArtistic. I'll put a link in the show notes. But the reason I was like, whoa, look at this. He's got the Jock and Nerd art mashup. I'll put some photos in the show notes.
They were awesome.
Awesome superhero illustrations on a sports-themed background, kind of like oversized trading cards. So, for example, you have one of my favorites was Spider-Man in his black costume on the Chicago White Sox background and logo. You have Wolverine with the Chicago Bulls, Captain America, and the White Sox, Harley Quinn and the Cubs, and he would mix and match, and he also had some Spectre-Man and some other weird stuff.
Also had Ultraman.
And Ultraman, but real nice dude. I gave him a card. I know he's going to listen, so I wanted to promote Juan. Check him out. Follow him on Facebook. Visit the cons. Get some of these awesome prints. He was a real cool guy, local guy from Chicago. And then I met this other guy named Mustafa Musa, who is he's worked for Image and Marvel and IDW, and he had some really cool aluminum prints. MustafaInc.com. You can find his work. He was at a panel called Building a Geek Brand with this other dude, Tony B. Kim, who runs this website, Crazy for Comic-Con. He reviews comics, but he also has this really cool site called the Hero Initiative Clothing. It's at HeroWithinStore.com.
Really cool clothing.
Click this link, Rugs. He was wearing this. So in the panel, it caught my eye. I was like, what is that bomber jacket? It was like a green bomber jacket. It had a red tag that said Marvel, and then the name tag said C. Danvers, and it had subtle Marvel brand. And I was like, that's really cool. And we get to his booth, and all their clothing is like this adult, classy geek clothing that you could even go business casual or a night out with.
You could definitely wear this stuff for a night out.
Anthony tried on this Black Panther jacket that had really
It was like
cool,
a long coat.
Yeah. So I really love this stuff. You almost fucking bought that coat, and I wanted to buy one of these.
I went in. The only reason I didn't is I went into this like going, I'm not buying shit.
Yeah.
But these items were so cool. I mean, the coat has like the detail of the Black Panther necklace on it. If you open it up, you get that nice purple lining. You have a Superman blazer where it's like Clark Kent's blazer is blue, but then red on in the inside lining. I mean, all these things you have to check them out for yourselves. I almost bought something on the spot. I only didn't because I told myself I wouldn't spend any money. But I mean, these are clothes that are geeky, but still you can wear them out, and people will just take it as regular night out.
Yeah, the
clothing.
women's stuff looks really good too.
Yeah, the jackets are nice. There, sophisticated apparel for the modern geek is their
I wear
tagline.
women's stuff.
Hero Within Store.
Do they make baby sizes?
they I don't know. This
They
is
might
for
be
adults.
getting them.
You might have to order something custom. Great stuff. I might have to order something from them later. Check it out, HeroWithinStore.com. So yeah, man, the convention was fun. I have this one interesting bit of news that in the future may be hard for a lot of Comic-Cons to use the word Comic-Con. And it's the news that a court has ruled that for San Diego Comic-Con, they have been trying to sue Salt Lake City Comic-Con since 2014 for using the Comic-Con name and jumping on the bandwagon. A judge has ruled in favor of San Diego.
Oh, shit.
Meaning there may be a time very soon where you can't use the word Comic-Con if you have a comic convention. They had to change their name to Salt Lake Fan X Salt Lake Comic Convention.
Oh.
But I don't know how you can get the rights of the word Comic-Con to me.
What if I change it and I want to make it like the Necrocomic-Con?
I don't know. You can't do Comic Space Con or Comic
No, what if it's
Con.
one word? What if it's one word?
I think you have to go Comic Convention. But that's a lot of power San Diego has that they can fucking convince this judge that, yeah, we own this. We're going to trademark Comic-Con.
Fuck them.
So Wizard World Fan Expo next year? I don't know. Fuck them. I have to share this funny quote post from Lisa Morrison on our Facebook group. She says, normally I love being Canadian. However, when it comes to cons, we get the short end of the stick. This weekend in Toronto is Fan Expo, our big con. Headliners include the cast of Back to the Future, Jason Momoa, and Jesus from The Walking Dead. I really envy you guys sometimes.
Yeah, that really beats out Boy Meets World.
Yeah, that's not bad, Lisa Morrison. I think.
Yeah, what are you complaining about?
You got the Momoa. Momoa's going to be there. You probably got to pay
Jesus from Walking Dead.
the $300 to see Jesus from The Walking Dead. Sorry, the cons suck, but you have been to a 40X theater, Lisa Morrison, which I have not been to. I would love to check that out.
I don't even know what that is.
That's that theater where when it's snowing in the movie, it snows in the theater. The seats move. When it's windy, you feel the wind. You feel
Get the fuck out
rain
of here.
spray. You haven't heard about
I've
these?
been wanting to do that.
Yeah, Kevin Smith raves about these in LA, and I don't know. I think there's one out here in Gurney. I don't know where it is, but I want to check it out.
Sounds like a real waste of money, but
It's probably like $50. And but yeah, it's totally immersive, and I have yet to
It's
check it
40X.
out.
That's what it is.
I think it's called 40X or 40X.
Speaking of immersive, I gotta just make a shout out to something.
Okay. Something immersive.
I just saw this 1 hour preview for this game called Cyberpunk 2077.
Okay.
It is fucking crazy. It looks like a great fucking game. It's in the future.
Yeah.
And you can be a person, like you can make your own character, and you are it's like Grand Theft Auto, but like it's like RPG. It's like you go through, it's not like this random sandboxing. There's like everything that your character does like shapes what happens in the world. It's fucking awesome.
Okay.
I'm just saying, watch it. You'll be like fucking. It's
What's
great.
it called? Cyber Frog?
Cyberpunk.
Oh, Cyberpunk.
It's got like the most views.
2077?
Yes.
I think I've seen that around. Hey, well, that's great. Look, I wanted to do a little recommendations, what you're into right now. That's a good one, Ruggs. Anthony, what are you into right now that you can turn the listener on to?
Before you list off like 20 things?
I have 2 things.
All right, cool. Right now, I am back in my podcast grind on Joe Rogan podcast.
Okay.
So I recently listened to a couple. I listened to the Macaulay Culkin one.
We talked about that episode. That's a
he
good one.
is completely normal, or so as normal as it gets for someone in that.
I kind of want to hang out with him.
Didn't sound like a weird person at all.
Right? Yeah.
Very balanced.
Yeah.
Very surprised. The next one I listened to was with Neil deGrasse Tyson, and if you've ever listened to Neil deGrasse Tyson, he is fucking interesting and smart as hell.
Yeah.
He is awesome.
Yeah.
Listen to that one. That one's really good. And now
I like his whole bit on Christopher Columbus.
Yeah, he did. He actually touched on Christopher Columbus again in this podcast.
What's his take on Columbus? I haven't heard that.
It was just one of the most important things that happened.
He says it's the most important thing that ever happened.
Christopher Columbus
coming over to it was the first time that the old world and the new worlds reunited again. No, not met, but reunited again. Because eventually people would have come over,
right?
But
there was no stopping it.
Yeah, it was going to happen, but the fact that he did it like that moment is big because eventually, like if you leave people isolated for long periods of time, like for millions of years, they eventually will evolve into something different.
Oh, so the whole other half of the planet could have evolved into a whole different fucking thing.
That he points to
that's crazy.
So we would have had 2 races of human beings.
Holy shit!
He points to Australia. Wow. So Australia was so isolated for so long.
Yeah,
that's why like marsupials develop pouches.
Right. For
weird shit.
For
was
what
happening.
reason? Yeah.
Because that's how they evolve because they're so isolated.
Oh, interesting.
But yeah, that's a really good one. And then one I'm listening to now is MMA. It's Donald Cerrone. But they got me on it, and I'm now going to experiment with my body.
Oh, Rogan
a month
finally worked.
of supplements and probiotics and nootropics and see what happens.
And what should happen? You should be a fucking superhuman by the end of this month.
Yeah, how much more in shape do you need to get in?
This should
by the end of it, I will basically be Filipinas Captain America.
You will be a Filipinas god. Like you take all these. I'm like, he's got alpha brain and supplements and natural things to just make you sleep better, work better, think better. You should be superhuman by the end of the month.
I took the plunge, and I'm going to be taking like 12 pills a day.
Oh shit! All right.
Yeah.
Well, let us know. Let us know how that works out.
Sounds like a lot of effort.
Let us know if it changes everything. By the end of the month, Anthony's just.
I told my mom about it, and she was like, "You're not sick. You're not old. Why are you taking pills like this?" I'm like, "There's supplements, Ma."
Anthony would be able to see through time by the end of the month and just like Doctor Strange.
I will be seeing in 5 dimensions.
He's going to be roided out. Just be like, hi, everybody, I'm on the show. What happened to you? On it. I took supplements.
You'll just be Joe Rogan.
Yeah, he'll totally be. You want to shoot things?
He'll be Dan Blazarian.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd love to be either of those men. I mean, I'm happy with who I am, but if I got to them, that'd be great too.
Anthony, don't change. I love you just the way you are.
Oh, thanks, man.
Okay.
I think Anthony secretly wants to be Dan Blazarian.
Which
Oh,
one
that's
is
goal.
who's
Dan
Blazarian? Is he a fighter?
No, he's just a guy.
He's
he's just a rich guy.
Oh.
He's just a rich guy.
That parties with models all the time and has
Oh,
just living an
shit.
awesome life.
Nice.
That's all he
And,
does.
all he does is Instagram and like show the world that he's with models.
Yeah, that's a good life. I'd like to
And
do
he,
that.
like,
He's just always on a yacht with like 20 like
You have to just look him up,
ends.
and you'll know, and you'll be like, oh. And he's like a guy that like, I don't think he necessarily worked for the money. I think he was just born into it.
Oh, motherfucker.
But he's not like
be nice.
I mean, he's kind of douchey, but he's not like. It's one of those where you follow him and you're like, that's he looks like he lives a fun life.
I bet he's.
You're like,
I bet.
it's not you're like, oh my god, I hate this man.
Yeah.
I don't know, that's the vibe
okay.
I
I see. I see. He kind of.
I hate him because he's so rich. But like,
He's probably secretly really depressed. Money is a curse, people. All right, I got 2 podcast recommendations.
I don't think he's depressed.
No, probably not.
no.
That giant ass on his lap is probably helping him stay happy. I have 2 podcast recommendations. One is like a big network one, and one is an independent one, just to balance things out. But I've been totally binging this show called Business Wars from Wondery. Wondery has some really great shows, good production. They're half-hour episodes. And basically what he does is there are 7-part episodes per series. For example, the first one was Netflix versus Blockbuster. 7 half-hour episodes.
Wow.
Really interesting. Then I just finished Nike versus Adidas. That's the next series. And I just started, this is why I put it in here, Marvel versus DC. He's got a 7-part series. And then
How long are they?
they're like less than half an hour each.
Business Wars, and what's the gist?
Business War. It's basically he tracks the origin of these 2 companies and compares their feud, like Nintendo versus Sony.
That's actually pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I'm gonna add that to my.
Dude, it's really well done. So Ford versus Chevrolet, eBay versus PayPal. If you enjoy like Shark Tank and business shit like that, it's really well done. Good production, and they're not long. So highly recommend Business Wars. The Marvel versus DC is great. Now to balance it out, I got a press release from our buddy Eric Garneau. You guys remember Eric from past times? He's been on the show.
Yeah.
He does Nerdalogs. He has a new show he edited and produced, and I got a press release, and I wanted to help promote them. It's called Batman at Bat. It's a 9-part audio play starring the heroes and villains of Batman comics. Basically, it's a 1940s audio transmission of this baseball game between the heroes and the villains, and every episode is an inning. These are really short episodes. They're like 16 minutes, 15, 16 minutes. And it's narrated by the 2 radio announcers. So it's for an independent production, it's pretty good. It's very clever. It's kind of funny.
It's jock and nerdy.
It's jock and nerdy. And so Anthony, I wanted to ask you, have you ever listened to a baseball game on the radio? Well, they don't have, I guess they do it on the radio, but
Of course, I listen to a baseball game.
so
on the radio.
there's an art to that. Like, do you enjoy like kind of seeing the game in your head through the announcers?
No, I'd rather watch it on TV. But if I'm in a car, that's the only way you could listen to it.
Yeah, no, and
I enjoy
yeah.
like there is an art to it. Like
Yeah.
there are guys that are better to listen to on the radio, and there are guys that you listen to on the radio. You're like, what's the fucking goddamn score? Goddamn it!
you just want the score. But other guys that like describe shit like
Yeah,
so
some
well.
are really good at doing that.
You can be basically if the Rogues if they win the Heroes team, they go free. Batman made a deal, said if you beat us in this baseball game, you all go free. So
All right, don't spoil the whole thing.
I listened to the first 2 episodes and I'm kind of hooked. I want to see how this fucking game ends up. But good job, Eric Garneau and company. BatmanAtBat.com is the website and the name of the show. Anything else, Ruggs? You got anything else to recommend?
Recommendations?
Yeah. What are you into?
Well, I said Cyberpunk.
Cyberpunk 2077.
Which is great.
Yes.
And that's about it. Did I see anything
Okay.
else?
No, that's
I
fine.
saw Mission Impossible,
Yeah, we all saw that.
and I recommend it.
I recommend
There
it
you
too. It's a fucking
very
fantastic
I
action
think
movie.
that the Rogue Nation is a little bit more of a better action film.
Which one's that? The
The
last
one before.
The one that came out right before it.
All right.
But this one was really good. Like, I mean, there's a fucking helicopter scene in this
It's
that was
amazing.
just fucking blew me away. But I think that in Rogue Nation, like Tom Cruise had to do this thing where he had to be underwater for like 6 minutes, and it was fucking impossible. I can't believe that he did it.
He learns to do the impossible for these movies. Anthony, I know you just walked into Mission Impossible. I was seeing the last one, but this is the first time in the franchise that the movies connect. Like usually every movie is standalone. So in Rogue Nation, you met Elsa, the female spy, like the female Ethan Hunt,
and the villain, right?
And yes, and the villain, and Simon Pegg and Ving Rhames were in that one too, and it was written by the same guy. So this was a companion piece. Now, to your point, Ruggs, Rogue Nation I felt had a way more interesting, convoluted plot, and Fallout was a little more straightforward. But together, the two movies are so good together.
I think if you see both of them,
oh my god,
it's very satisfying.
It's a great ride, and they did stuff with his wife and closed some things and added some more things. But I kind of want to see Fallout again. It was
he was just running.
Yeah.
You remember him running?
He was running for a long time in Fallout.
He was running a lot.
It's like a 5-minute running scene.
I can't run like that.
And it's on like rooftops and shit, like along the edge. He's just booking.
Crazy.
There's a stat. I said this in my review. Rotten Tomatoes, somebody figured out that the more Tom Cruise runs in a movie, the more money the movie makes. There's an actual statistic.
They just got to make a movie of him doing a marathon.
Imagine if he ran for 2 hours. This movie would make billions and billions of dollars. That's all you got to do. Put him on a treadmill. Put a camera on him. Done.
Haul ass, dude.
And then before we get to the mailbag, quick friendly reminder, geek reminder, Iron Fist Season 2 out this week.
Geek boner.
September 7th. Get your binge on. I will say who will be the first to binge this. I don't know. If it was another show, I'd name a listener like Jess Rivera or somebody. Be like, watch this. But it's Iron Fist, so people may be hesitant or may not watch it at all.
I mean, I'll watch it.
I might be late on this one.
That's okay. We don't even have a date yet.
Yeah. Take your time. You know what? The binging is great, but I kind of I'm watching one or two and kind of enjoying it and stretching it out so I remember the shit also. Because when you watch it all at once, it's hard to remember what the fuck did I just watch. Okay, mailbag. You guys we talked at the top of the show about our last episode. Check it out, listener, if you're new. The Fanboy's Guide to the DCEU, where we attempted to say nice things about the DC Shared Universe, and a lot of our listeners who are DC fans really enjoyed the episode. Bill Vincent comment, the past DC Fanboy episode made me want to watch Justice League, which I never have seen before. Enjoyed it way more than I thought I would. Honestly, great episode, guys.
Talking nerd.
Thanks, Bill.
Did we say anything good about Justice League?
I know. That's what I was thinking. I was like, we didn't even really talk about Justice. We just talked about Superman and the characters. And
I think it's our lack of commentary that maybe makes him want to watch it.
Because we didn't say anything about it.
Yeah, we just avoided it completely.
And then Jason Dutch from Voice from the Underground just messaged me this on Facebook. He said, dude, super topic this week. I really enjoyed that as a big fan of DC Comics. I wanted to chime in like 20 times. LOL. That was a great show. Thank you, Jason. So it's funny. Like we're pleasing the DC Comics. I want Kevin Halden. What did you think? I should have dedicated that whole fucking show to Kevin Halden. He would have had a fucking geek boner.
Geek boner.
I don't think he listens to this.
No, probably not. Jesse, he comments on our Facebook group and says Black Panther's average. Jesse Rodriguez also comment, I'm going to jump in on the DC episode train here and bring up more discussion. I still hold Man of Steel as one of my favorite modern DC films ever. Yeah. The critics of this movie bashed the two biggest drawbacks as the dad sacrificing himself and the destruction of Metropolis during Act 3. I can possibly understand the first as a possible issue, but why the second? For the first time, Superman is battling an equal. Would you not expect this type of destruction? I understand in the comics, he's the save everyone type, Mr. Positive. But in this movie, he is legitimately fighting his first true enemy and is at times overwhelmed. I honestly think the other movies were ruined by the fact that they made a point to show you they're fighting around empty buildings, etc. and shit just to play to the obsessive nerd crowd. Comment, Ruggs?
I think it was ramped up too much. For example, if you ever watched the first Superman movie, Superman gets tossed, Superman 2, actually. He gets tossed through some buildings and stuff like that, but they don't just come crumbling down immediately.
He doesn't shoot through like 7 buildings.
Yeah, he doesn't slice a whole building with eyes and stuff. It's like, or that doesn't happen. So that just seemed like it was just excessive a little bit.
Mm.
And they could have probably worked around it and still had that happen. I don't know. You got Zod. He's pretty powerful, but like, it was like exhausting.
Yeah,
to watch all
It
of
went
that.
on for a while.
That was what it was. It was exhausting because it was just over and over destruction porn.
Yeah.
And I felt like the battle scenes in Metropolis, there wasn't an arc to them. It was just, oh, here's another building falling down.
Smashing
Oh,
shit for the sake.
So at the end of it, by the end of it, you're, as Rug Boy mentioned, you're just kind of exhausted.
Mm-hmm.
Also factor in that Superman's character, at his essence, at his core, is someone that cares a lot about people.
Mm-hmm.
So to have
Not this Superman.
Well, no, it's not the wisest choice to put him in a scene where buildings are falling down everywhere and he's not doing anything.
Well, it's just insane that, okay, entire buildings are falling down on top of everyone. There's probably, the body count's huge.
Yeah.
And then he's going to hit somebody with his I-beams, and that's when he snaps the guy's neck?
Right.
Like, it's just some random other people?
He should have
Yeah,
been shocked, like, right away.
Like, it just doesn't really,
It doesn't add up.
it doesn't build correctly.
So,
Yeah. That's a great point
Yeah.
because he makes the whole sacrifice scene of killing of Zod and going against his what he is because.
But he just let all these buildings
But
drop.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, because Zod's about to kill little boys,
So-
but there's all these buildings that are dropped.
Honestly, I love Man of Steel just for the fact that there's so much discussion you can have about this movie because Zack Snyder does tend to make movies that make you want to talk about it, but he makes, like, it looked amazing, but he doesn't hold back. He just needs to restrain himself sometimes. He's very heavy-handed. Like, had one building dropped, and then he was like, okay, I got to stop this shit right now. That would have been okay, but it did go on and on and on.
If you ever watch Superman Returns,
Yeah. Brandon Ruth.
that scene where Superman has got to save that plane, like when he finally saves that plane from crashing,
Yeah.
you feel exhilarated.
Yep.
As dumb as that movie is,
Yeah.
that one scene is probably one of the best Superman scenes ever filmed.
I mean, that movie gets unfairly criticized also because, like, you're comparing Chris Reeve to Brandon Ruth. You can't compare anybody to Chris Reeve, and they kind of expected him to, pull that. So, I don't know. It's worth a second watch.
Well, just that one scene. If you want to see what Superman's about, that scene right there. He is literally doing everything he can to try and stop this plane. And then when he does finally do it, it's in a triumphant, uplifting manner that like makes you really have an awe for the Man of Steel.
Yeah, that's.
And in this movie, there's not
no
that doesn't
feeling.
happen.
Yes, because you never connect with this Kal-El. To his second point about that they made it a point to show them fighting in. This is where we really learned how reactionary Warner Brothers is. Remember, this is like the first time where they were like, "Oh shit, people are giving us shit for this." When had they just stuck to their grounds, maybe, and been like, "No, this is the destruction. Fuck what you guys think. This is what the movie we're making." Things may have played out differently. I don't know. It wouldn't have affected so many things narratively, I guess.
This isn't their worst film.
It's not their worst film. It's probably their second best film in my eyes, I would say.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's still, I mean, again, it was.
I didn't really like the World Engine stuff either. So
with the little black, the DNA and the thing and the. Is that what you're talking about?
No, I didn't like that either.
Yeah,
I didn't like that. I didn't like the World Engine. I didn't like the Codex.
The Codex. Yeah.
So I had problems with a lot of things. It's not just a few things that you're saying, Jesse. I understand where you're coming from, but you look at that movie. They made changes that don't add anything to the to the mythos.
That's always the problem.
It just detracts. The fact that Superman's walking around with the code in him, like it's just such a lame fucking thing to do.
This is where they dug themselves into a hole that they're still trying to fucking climb out of. Off with the Superman, trying to get him right and get him hopeful.
They didn't necessarily have him completely wrong. But there was a few errors there with him not saving his dad and the weird advice that his parents are giving him.
Don't save anyone, Clark. They're gonna. But this is the alien Superman that's isolated from everyone around him. This is not your goody two shoes boy that grew up in Kansas with a supportive father figure.
I get that. It's just it was creeping too far away from the core of the character.
Yes, absolutely.
Look, it bothers people.
Yeah. But still,
if you really like Superman a certain way, Now, I personally was always like, Superman's a little too cheesy.
Right.
But And I was like, he could be a little bit more badass.
But this went way too much the other way.
This went a little too far.
A lot of people though are like, this is my Superman. Like a lot of people connected to this generationally. So
who connected to this?
Younger stupid people.
No, there's people that like it.
Yeah,
that's fine. But that's fine.
Again, it's not the worst DCEU movie. No,
I wish there was more to it though. Yes, I really wish there was more to like.
I still he needs another chance. He needs another Superman movie.
The actor is fine.
Yeah.
It's the material.
So I rewatched Justice League again, and wow, some of the stuff is just still doesn't make sense. And now I really noticed his suit, Superman's suit rugs, the weird white patches with where it reflects off the light. And the sculpting, it's really weird. I was like, why would you do that? Parts of it I still enjoyed, and parts of it I'm like, this is still dumb. What the fuck? You just left the fucking third mother box? It's sitting right there. The whole point was to protect it. And you guys completely forgot about it. So, fun movie. All right, before we peace out, Anthony, is there any updates from the National Felty League?
Jesus Christ, Imran.
In our great...
Football hasn't started yet.
No? I don't know.
You can't have fantasy football when the NFL hasn't started playing real games yet.
I'll give you an update.
Okay.
The Felty League is having a controversy about my deflated balls.
Oh, it's the deflated ball game. So I think I knew football hadn't started. The reason I put this in there is I have two things to bring up. Does it need a better prize, Anthony, than just stickers? So we give away something better, like a t-shirt.
What are you going to do? We can do a t-shirt.
If that sweetens the pot and gives you more incentive to actually, get into it. How about a t-shirt?
Yeah, let's do a t-shirt.
Done. T-shirt. Also, I may make you guys a logo. I may make you guys a fun Jock and Nerd Felty League logo for the league.
Oh, wow. We have a logo, but yeah.
Oh, you do? It's shit.
Not great, but yeah.
I haven't seen it.
What is
I'll tell you it's shit right now. I don't know.
I thought we had a logo. I don't know.
Look, I feel like I make the logos. I will make you guys a logo. So at least it looks fucking nice when you're out there.
I make the logos.
I make the logos that make the whole world sing. Ruggs, you want to make a logo?
No.
Okay, I'll make the fucking Felty League logo. If anybody has any suggestions, don't send them over because I'll make the fucking logo. Maybe there's an NFL t-shirt. Maybe there's a Felty League. I don't know. So we'll sweeten the pot. More, you'll get stickers and a t-shirt. Huh? How about that?
There you go.
You guys happy? Are you not entertained? Ruggs, where can the listener find you online?
You can find me online at The Nation.
Jock and Nerd Nation.
And on Twitter at ReallyRugBoy.
You can find us at Jock and Nerdcast on Twitter. Visit the website, jockandnerd.com. And the one thing you got to do at the end of the show, listener, you know what it is. Tell a friend. Share the show. Post it on your shits. On your social media shit. Somebody start posting this shit on their Instagram and your Twitter and your Facebook. Right, Anthony? Where else?
Snapchat.
Yes. Fucking Grindr, Tinder, LinkedIn. Post it everywhere.
Zanga, MySpace, everywhere.
Fucking blow it up, and we will appreciate it. Thank you for listening this week to the Jock and Nerd Podcast. My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the Jock.
He's the nerd.
We'll peep you next time.
My urethra is swollen. I feel like I gotta piss.
Gentlemen, this is Democracy Manifest.
Jock and Nerd.